Welcome to SelfEmpower Animations. Be the change, empower yourself.
Xavier's burden. Xavier lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone and secrets were rare. He was a kind-hearted young man, always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need. But there was one person who depended on him more than anyone else, his mother, Maria. Maria was a single parent, struggling to make ends meet after Xavier's father had left them when Xavier was just a child. From a young age, Xavier felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Maria relied heavily on him for emotional support, and Xavier never wanted to let her down. Every day after school, Xavier would rush home to be by his mother's side. He would listen to her worries, her fears, and her dreams, offering comforting words and a reassuring presence. But as Xavier grew older, he began to feel the weight of his mother's dependence on him. Maria had a way of making Xavier feel guilty whenever he wanted to do something for himself. If he mentioned going out with friends or pursuing his own interests, she would sigh and say, "But who will take care of me, Xavier? You know how much I need you." And so, Xavier would sacrifice his own desires, putting his mother's needs above his own time and time again. He felt trapped, suffocated by the guilt of wanting something more for himself. Despite his internal struggles, Xavier never stopped loving his mother. He knew she had sacrificed so much for him, and he felt a deep sense of obligation to repay her kindness. But as the years went by, Xavier began to realize that his mother's dependence on him was stifling his own growth and happiness. One day, as Xavier sat in his room, contemplating his future, he had a moment of clarity. He realized that he couldn't continue living his life for someone else's happiness. He needed to break free from the cycle of guilt and dependence and pursue his own dreams. With a heavy heart, Xavier sat down with his mother and gently explained his feelings. He told her that he loved her dearly but needed to start focusing on his own life and goals. At first, Maria was hurt and angry, accusing Xavier of abandoning her. But as time passed, Maria began to understand her son's perspective. She realized that she had been relying on Xavier as a crutch, instead of encouraging him to spread his wings and fly. With a newfound sense of independence, Maria started taking steps to build her own life, finding joy and fulfillment outside of her relationship with her son. As for Xavier, he embarked on a journey of self-discovery, pursuing his passions and dreams with renewed vigor. He found a balance between caring for his mother and living his own life, and with each passing day, he grew stronger and more confident in himself. In the end, Xavier learned that it's okay to prioritize his own needs and happiness. He discovered that true love means supporting each other's growth and independence, rather than depending on one another for validation and fulfillment. And so, dear listener, remember this. It's important to care for those we love, but it's equally important to care for ourselves. Don't let guilt or obligation hold you back from living your best life. Trust in yourself, follow your heart, and embrace the freedom to be who you truly are.
Thank you for being amazing. Until next time, stay empowered.